Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris and today we're going to be talking about the fundamentals of makeup, a smoky eye. Now I know that smoky eye sounds intimidating for so many people, but don't you worry, I'm going to show you today how to create the look that you see now. And to do that I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Khaki Haze palette. I picked this up the other day online because I'm like, khaki, yes, olive, yes, I'm here for it. Yeah. Doesn't have a great deal of khakis or greens in it, but definitely we were able to create the look that you see today. And so we'll be talking a little bit about the facts and figures and what my overall thoughts about this palette are. So if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you click that subscribe button, take a seat, grab a popcorn, and let's learn together. So what are you getting for your money? Well, you're getting a small format palette with 9 shades included. For here in the Netherlands, it costs €29.95. And for that, you receive 5.8 grams of product. You know me, I'm all about the facts and the figures and really understanding where the value of money sits. This palette comes in at €5.16 per gram of product. Now, that is definitely push right up into the prestige side of beauty that is quite expensive per gram of product, and are definitely up there with your higher end products, excluding of course your Natasha Denona's and your Pat McGrath palettes that are, you know, hundreds of euros per palette, but definitely on the more pricey side. So expectations are definitely high for this palette, and for that you also receive 5 matte colors and 4 shimmers, so a really good balancing color. As I mentioned before, irks me just a little bit that it's called Khaki Haze, and in that you only receive 2 khaki colors. That ticks me off a little bit. But I understand the reason why you've got these sort of like sandy colors to really assist in creating this green dream that you see. So yeah, let's dive straight into the application. So as always, we're going to begin with an eye primer. When doing a smoky eye, you've really got 2 different methods you can take. You can either start with your lightest color and build inwards into a deeper color, or you can start with your darkest color and then blend it out with lightest colors. Personally, I feel if you don't have a great deal of experience, or you always find that you end up with a panda eye with a smoky eye, it's always easier to begin with your lightest colors and build your way inwards. It's the same when working with our primers. So underneath the brow, I'm going to take a concealer. This is a Pro Longwear concealer. And this concealer is just going underneath the brow and down to the crease, not onto the eyelid. On the eyelid, I'm going to take a slightly darker color. So I'm going to take Groundwork, also from MAC Cosmetics. And with the same brush, I'm now going to work from the lash line up into the crease. And you see that it's not too intense, but it's definitely going to give us a bit of a guideline. Going along with today's theme, I'm going to take this super light malt color that's in the middle of the, in this case, bottom row, but normally the top row. And we're going to use that as our transition color. So taking a dual fiber blending brush, this is from Morphe M430. And using a super light hand, we're going to start to really define where that outside color is going to go to. This gives us the guideline of how far we want to take this eyeshadow out. Now this malt color, you almost don't see it on my skin tone. So for me, it's adding just a whisper of color. No problems, there is enough other colors in there to build dimension, but interesting. It's not light enough to be a brow highlight for me, but it's not dark enough to be really as a mid-tone or a sort of a middle transition color. If you're slightly deep in complexion, I think this could make a really, really nice, subtle highlight color for you. Just like so. So now going in with a slightly sort of a smaller blending brush, and now we're going to start moving into more of this mid-tone brown color. And this is going to act as our sort of mid-transition. When you're creating a smoky eye, I always tend to choose at least 3 colors to create that smokiness, so there's a really nice blend between colors. If you're only doing a 1 color smoky eye, you're going to have to really work with it in order to get a really beautiful seamless blend. So this going a little bit more in the crease. And with a smoky eye, take your time. Don't rush it, because if you rush it, you're really going to see those kind of layers building up. So the pressure from the brush onto the eye is almost not there. You're really just tickling the skin. Really, really light pressure. You'll see with my hand at the back of the brush, really just fluffing the color onto the crease. And you see automatically that I'm not going further than that first transition color that we laid down. So I kind of have the framework of where I want each shadow to go. Now, taking that center, the actual khaki color, and I'm taking it on a MAC 221. I'm gonna really load up the brush. And we're gonna start here and we're gonna pat a little bit. And build this color up. This is our deepest shade that we're gonna use. Interesting, I don't know whether you can see it or not, I'm having a little bit of a patchiness problem here. Just tap that over nicely. I think we'll get there, but interesting to note. What I find very intriguing is this color here has a lot less kick up than the other shades. So it's pressed a little bit harder. So you're gonna have to layer this color up to get the full intensity. And now that we've kind of filled in the lid, now it's time to really sort of blend the second and the third colors together. It could be that you need to go back and forth between the eyeshadows to make sure you've got a really nice blend between the two.
One eternity later.
Okay, so we're blended. I have to be honest, this took a lot more work. This, I would expect it to be working a little bit better considering it's such a curated palette. There's only 9 colors in it, huh? So, I mean, you could really put on a bit of a smoky liner, a lash, and you're done with the top half at least for a smoky eye. We're gonna bump it up a little bit more. So we're gonna take e.l.f. liquid eyeshadow, and this is in the color Dirty Martini. And with a flat brush, we're just going to start kind of patting that right into the center of the lid. So it's going to give us a little bit of a tacky base that we can layer the shimmers on top of. Taking the one other khaki color from the palette, we're going to pick that up, I hope. And layer that straight over the top. Alright, so I'm going to take a gel line. I'm going to take Black Track from MAC, and I'm going to take that on a tiny brush. Like, you can hardly see it. This is a Morphe M515, and I'm just going to take it right onto the tip of the brush, just like that. And we're going to start working that into the lash line. And we're blending that out. We want it nice and super soft. And you see with a tiny brush like this, it's like a tiny pencil brush. You can work those edges out with not a lot of work. Now what has been done on the top must be repeated on the bottom. So I'm going to take a little bit more of that Pro Longwear concealer. Gonna work that under the eyes. And now starting with my darkest color, so that khaki green, we're going to go ahead with a flat brush and work that into the lash line. And really what you want is that the bottom lash line and the top lash line really come into one shape. Now, going in with that transition color, that medium brown, on the same brush, we're going to start layering over that line. Half on the khaki, half on the bare skin. To start to create that transition. And then we're going to go in with that lightest malt color. Now, to create a little bit more harmony in your eye look, it's very important to put something inside the eye, both upper and lower. I'll do upper off screen because you don't want to watch me do it. It is a pain, but on the lower, I'm going to go in with a pencil, also in an olive green, but really you can pick whatever color you like. If you're doing a dark purple smoky eye, then you can go in with a black, a purple, a brown, a gold. It's just something to tie the look together, because at the moment you see it very clearly that my waterline is still bare. So you see, with just that pencil, you create a harmonious element into the whole eye look, and it just starts to look a little bit more cohesive. So on the inner corner, let's take this one in the middle. It's a sort of a bronze with a gold shimmer. And let's just pat that into the inner corner. Yeah, that's nice. All right, I think you know the drill now. I'm gonna go off camera, finish the other eye, maybe put a bit of a base on, come back, we'll give a bit of a recap as well as my final thoughts about what I think about this palette. And just like that, we're back. Now, it's come together pretty nicely, huh? I think it's looking quite all right. The thing with a smoky eye is that you can do a very, very pared back, and you can do it quite simple, or you can take it right up to 10. You know, you can really pile the makeup on. I'd say I'm around a 6 today. We've got some nice concealer underneath. You want to keep that nice, clean, highlighted effect under the eyes, but everything else is relatively simple. Blush is simple, lip is simple. We're not going to go too far today. So, the Huda Beauty Khaki Haze palette. Is it worth your money? Depends on what you're looking for. For me, I was really looking for an olive tone palette, and of course, you could say, oh, you can see from the pictures online, but you know, I would have hoped for more than just 2. And really that khaki color, that really central khaki color, really was a pain to work with. Like, not saying you can't use it, but you really had to work with it. The other colors are really, they blended all right, but I would expect that of a neutral color. Would I buy this again? No, unfortunately not. I love the color story. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to have to fight with an eyeshadow palette in order to create a look. And that's just what it comes down to. There are so many options that are available to purchase. Why should you settle? And that's just really my opinion about it. This color here, I feel like is very, very close to the Beauty Bay X Nikki Tutorials palette. I would dig it out and I will put the swatches next to one another kind of here on the screen for you. But yeah, the shimmers work nicely, the neutrals work nicely. It's just that khaki color, and that is the essence of the palette, is khaki haze. So you can make it work. I'm sure you can make it work if you want to make it work, but all in all, it is absolutely your choice. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed and you were able to learn at least one thing today. If you haven't, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, drop a like button, as well as comment whether or not the Haze palette or any of the Huda Beauty palettes really catch your eye and why. I'd be really interested in seeing perhaps if there are other palettes that do the job better. Other than that, stay safe, stay positive, and never ever forget that you're in charge of your own happiness. Have a great day, night, afternoon. Yeah. Bye.